Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on episode 10 of RWBY, and we took a week off because of the snow and everything and going on in Texas, and I'm really glad that Ruby's doing all right and that all of that worked out as best as it could. I'm like, they could have taken weeks off, and I think I think the fandom would have been okay. Like, you guys got to take care of yourselves, right? But I am glad that RWBY is back, and it ended on such a cliffhanger with Oscar and using Ozpin's cane. Last episode was crazy. There was just so much setup and so much going down. The bomb getting put into place, Winter's turmoil of having to put the bomb into place, Oscar being found by John's team with Yang and Ren, Hazel turning coat and seeing what Jin could do and dragging Emerald along with them, and then Neo taking the lamp, and then and then Hazel basically going down in a blaze of glory to take Salem with them. And we all know as the audience that Salem, if she gets massacred by Oscar, it's only going to be for a couple hours. It is not going to be a permanent thing, but it's just to buy the crew time to do something. And I really liked a lot of the theories floating around. I watched Semblance of Sanity and Murder of Birds and Klaxon's reaction to this and Zhao Long's, and I really like the theory, I hadn't even thought of it, of Oscar creating like maybe a pocket universe to jettison Salem in, because we saw that flash of light, the orange coming with the green, and the orange seemed like it was more Oscar's semblance, maybe, possibly, I don't know. But I was like, man, what if Salem does get jettisoned to a pocket universe for a while, like where the lamp was from? That could buy some time, more so than just killing her, right? But I don't think Hazel's gonna live. I think he sacrificed himself. The no more Gretchen's line, I think that was pretty much his last thing. Which, man, if that's the way Hazel goes out, chocked full of dust and just beating the crap out of Salem, okay. I don't know how else I wanted Hazel to go out. But I'm really interested now if Emerald's with them, how that's going to play out. Her semblance worked on Salem. So there's that. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. I'm really excited. I'm really curious. The episode's called Ultimatum, and the thumbnail was with Ironwood. We haven't seen Ironwood hardly at all this volume, so why not bring him up now? We're 10 episodes in. Let's just give an Ironwood-centered episode. And the thumbnail is ominous. So I'm like, I don't like Ironwood when he's cornered and threatened, because then he becomes kind of unhinged like he was last volume, but I don't know. We still don't have anything with Cinder and Watts, Penny, and that whole deal with the Grim, with the Hound, blah, blah, blah. So we don't have any aftermath of that. I'm just really curious, guys, what's going to go down. And this episode's, they've consistently been like 17 to 18 minutes long, and this one's 18 minutes and 50 seconds, so lots can happen. But I want Oscar to be okay. In the back of my head, I constantly have this fear that Oscar's going to die and that Ozpin's going to reincarnate. And I know that that's not likely, because why would we have built Oscar's character up just to have him gone and to have a new host? I don't see that happening, but in the same vein, I'm like, I just want Oscar to be safe. I know he's going to probably merge with Ozpin, and he used a bunch of magic just now, so it's probably just expedited the process because they built it up last episode, and so we'll have to deal with that, but I just don't want Oscar to be completely gone. So, with that being said, we are going to start episode 10 of RWBY here in 10, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Well. So, man, that episode had a lot going on. A lot going on. And it was hard to stop and digest and process everything because it was just one thing right after the other. First of all, I didn't see Oscar's ability just blowing up the whole whale. That was like a nuclear blast. I'm glad that Jean and them somehow got, I guess it was more just the light show and the whale being destroyed than actually harming Atlas or harming any part of it, which is interesting. I wonder if it I still wonder if Salem was zapped away or if she was just really destroyed. But man, gosh, such a weird development. And we still have 4 episodes left. Yeah. So many things coming together. Watts. I am a big Dragon Ball Z fan. I know Chris Sabat does the voice of Watts, and you could kind of hear Vegeta a little bit when he was yelling at Cinder, and I absolutely loved it. But yeah, Watts spouting off truth bombs about Cinder. I'm amazed she let him live, but in the end she was like, screw it. Am I going to destroy this guy and repeat the cycle, or am I just going to keep him around and hope for the best? Which now it's probably a good thing that she kept him around because, because now they're both probably like looking at Ironwood's plan like, what do we do with this? Because they want her to go to the vault, but do they want Ironwood around when that happens? Like, that's an interesting thing. So I'm curious how that's all going to go down. Neo, what a troll. I hadn't even thought of the concept of Neo texting on the scrolls, and that's how she communicates, but the selfie with the lamp, that's amazing. I love that. And so, yeah, I'm real curious how that's going to work out. If Neo's really going to give Cinder the password, or if Neo could be the ultimate troll and she's already used the question, and now that she knows the answer to the question, if she's going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to troll everybody, and then she gives Cinder back a lamp. It would be amazing if Neo asked Jin the question, and it was something about Torchwick, or just something about her past, or just a random question she wanted answered for her own. And if she asked about Torchwick, and Jin told her the answers, and then Neo found out that Cinder really didn't care about Torchwick at all, and that him dying was just, kind of her fault as well. I wonder if Neo's ultimate trolling would be to give Cinder back the lamp, give her the password, and then if the password's used and Salem finds out, then she's going to pin it all on Cinder. And Neo could hightail it to, she could be to Vacuo before anybody else finds out about it, She could be on the beaches of Vacuo before anybody finds out. So I'm curious if Neo's going to ultimately troll and double-cross Cinder to the extreme. It would be such a... I don't know if she'll actually do that, because it would kind of reaffirm Cinder's motif of not trusting anyone. It would really affirm that for her, that she's right, that she shouldn't trust people. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, but part of me wants Neo just to troll her really bad. Because Cinder, girl, you've got some issues, and you're just really just digging a hole for yourself. Especially with Watts, because Watts is like, I've got stuff on you. You don't have any right to threaten me. It's interesting that Watts says that Penny's thing is a virus. It's not him actually controlling her. It's just he put a virus in her system, which that fits on brand for Watts. Watts is a virus maker. He's not a puppeteer necessarily. He's not like Geppetto. He's not the puppeteer or the creator of puppets. He just makes the virus and he just lets it go and let it do its thing. So that makes total sense. That's on brand for Watts. And he's like, I can't control Penny. I just gave her a virus that said she's going to end up at this location eventually. And she's not doing it yet, so so I'm curious to know where that will go. Bronwyn, Crow, and Robin escaping, top notch. We've hardly seen anything with Crow and Robin this volume, which granted we haven't needed to, but I'm really curious. I'm amazed that Ironwood is more concerned about Crow and Robin getting away than Watts and Cinder. Jacques, who cares about Jacques? But Watts is a legitimate threat because he works with Salem. And as Ironwood just said, Salem's not gone forever. She's going to come back. Wouldn't you want to get the guy that works for Salem exclusively and is a huge threat to your technologically driven society? Wouldn't you want to get him back behind bars? I think you would. But Ironwood is so beyond gone now. Like, just corrupted beyond. Like, the fear and his pride and everything has just corrupted him to the point of he's gonna die this volume. I'm fully convinced that Leonardo, he's gonna die. It's just a matter of, to me, it's a matter of, is Ironwood going to die insane like he is now, or is he gonna have one final realization that he can do good and sacrifice himself to save everybody? I don't know. In my head canon, I would think that maybe Ironwood saves the bomb and uses it to destroy himself along with Salem again to buy them more time to get off of Atlas or to get away to Vacuo or whatever the case may be. That's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe in the end somehow they get to Ironwood and somehow they make him come around, and he decides to sacrifice himself and use the bomb to stop Salem again, which Salem's going to be so pissed if that happens, because she's going to be like, I just came back and now you're killing me again? The whale Grim getting taken out is huge, though, because that's a big old Grim that they just knocked out. But yeah, Harriet is still in the bandwagon with Ironwood, and Harriet throwing Winter under the bus. How dare you, ma'am? That was cold and heartless. I felt so bad for Winter, and I'm like, Winter's gonna hightail it out of there because she has no stake in all this. Her sister's life's gonna be in jeopardy. It's like, you have a duty, Winter, but when the system's that corrupt, like, is your duty to keep following the system, or is your duty to serve Atlas and Mantle to the best of its ability? And is Ironwood's leadership now for Atlas, or is it like, is it really for the best of Atlas, or is it really kind of like just for himself anymore? So I want Marrow and Winter to just hightail it out there. I want Marrow and Winter to live. Harriet and the others, Harriet and Elm and Vine, I like y'all, but I see them as more expendable than I do like poor Marrow and poor Winter, which I like Marrow a lot, so that means he'll probably die. And Hazel's gone. Ugh. The development with Emerald is very, very interesting, because Emerald has been an accomplice, like Yang said, Emerald is partially responsible for the reason that Yang lost her arm. She's partially the reason why Pyrrha died. So Yang and Jean have very legitimate reasons to not trust her and to not forgive her. But like Oscar said, I didn't want to trust Ozpin, but he trusted me to make these decisions that saved all of our lives. So maybe we should give Emerald a second chance. And plus, Oscar's very correct. Emerald has a very powerful ability that worked on Salem. You might want to be in Emerald's best graces. And Emerald, for the moment, knows that she's in trouble if Salem gets a hold of her. So Emerald's kind of in the same boat, too. So it's like, Emerald's not she's not a villain. She's very much been caught in all these terrible situations, and she's made bad choices. But like Oscar says, what of them hasn't made a bad choice, right? At this point in the series, who amongst our protagonists has not made a bad decision? All of them have made bad decisions. Obviously, Emerald's has had more magnitude, but it's still, they're still people that, they're still at the end of the day people. And therefore, they have humanity, and they deserve, a second chance perhaps. Maybe not forgiveness, but a second chance. So I really liked that Ozpin, and I like that Rin could detect that Ozpin was helping, because he probably can see. I'm curious to know what the purple petals around Emerald were, if that was just fear, or if there was specific emotion. I want to know what he sees around Oscar, if there's like Ozpin and him mixing together there. And then we had that reunion. I was so floored by Neo texting Cinder that it was like, oh yeah, and we're having a reunion, which, Ruby, I freaking love that, obviously Yang and Ruby, they're happy they saw each other. But then Yang goes there and gives Weiss like a little pity hug, like, oh hey friend, cool. Okay, I gotta talk to my girlfriend, see you, bye. And then them just doing the forehead thing, it's like, let them kiss, damn it. Let Yang and Blake kiss, please. Just get it over with. At this point, it's canon. Let it happen. Let Bumblebee happen and just get it over with. But no, we can't have that. That was just really good. And then we almost had a hug between Oscar and Ruby, but then Ruby saw Emerald and was like, oh, wait, hold on, hug later. I was like, curses. Rose Garden fans were probably like, we can't have what we want either. So, yeah. And then Rin, Weiss, it looked like Weiss was taking Rin to see Nora, which I hope next episode they touch on that. I hope that they see each other. I don't want Rin to be angsty, though. So I'm hoping that he can see that she's calm, and that I just want them to be happy. So I'm like, oh, Rin, don't be angsty next episode when you see Nora all battered and bruised. And then Penny's out. So they've got an hour to get her to Ironwood, but she's down for the count. So what do we do? I don't know. Do they just take her to him? How do we do this? Is he going to send Winter? I could see Weiss calling Winter and being like, look, we'd love to take you, Penny, but she's down for the count, and then Winter coming down there and something happening. But the whole bombing thing with Mantle is just like, what good is that going to do you? Because what if he bombs Mantle and then nothing comes of it? Like, at that point, what have you accomplished, And the fact that he was willing to potentially kill Jean, Yang, and Rin to get Penny to come there. And Winter had that look on her face like, oh no, you're putting people's lives at stake like this now? I don't like where this is going. I just, the symbolism and everything with Ironwood, it's like the death flags for him are, they just like flew up this episode, and I'm like, oh, Ironwood, you're done. You are not making it through this volume, are you? If they make it out of Atlas's volume, I don't know if they will. But yeah, I'm glad that Oscar's back with them, that he is okay. I'm glad they're having this talk about Ozpin. I'm glad that Emerald's with them. I am so curious. I think they could do a lot with Emerald's character, especially her being around a positive influence. Of course, the only thing is now, eventually we all know that Emerald and Cinder are going to come back together. The question is Emerald going to just go crawling back to Cinder, or is she actually going to take charge? And part of me says she's going to go crawling right back to Cinder, and Cinder's going to abuse her again. And the other part of me is like, maybe she'll stand up for herself. I don't know. I'm really excited for Emerald's character because a lot can happen. Emerald has a lot of potential as a character, and if they choose to get her part of this team and develop her, it also makes me wonder if Penny's going to stay alive, or I don't know. A part of me would like to see Emerald become a maiden, but then I'm like, is Emerald going to be so OP at that point because she'll have her incredibly OP semblance and maiden powers? I don't know. I'm with a large portion of the fandom, though, that thinks that Cinder, it's like the story of Cinderella, and her time's almost up. Like, she's just getting to the end of, I feel like Cinder's story is eventually going to reach, I get Hound 2.0 vibes from Cinder, and that Salem, that her maiden powers are just going to transfer to something else. Because I'm thinking that guy that became the Hound was dead, and his corpse was just used for the Hound, so I'm like, is Cinder going to die, and they're going to use her corpse to make the Grimm? And if that happens, where's her powers going to go to? Is it going to go to Neo? Is it going to go to Emerald? I don't know. It's a lot to think about, and I'm glad we don't have a break, that next week we get episode 11, because I've got lots to ponder between now and then. But I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. Please feel free to comment. Let me know what you guys think. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction. And yeah, next week we'll be back with episode 11 of RWBY. Bye.